Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com as we're looking back at the first leg of the Bradby and looking forward at the second leg as well. A knife edge that the game is poised on. 22 points to 17 is how it finished in favour of Royal. And to talk about their own team's chances, Abdullah Yusuf, a Royal captain of 1997 who presided over one of the closest Bradbys in the history of the encounter, joins us along with Milinda Gunawardena, who is the captain of the Trinity Lions in 2008. Hello gentlemen, good to have you on ThePapare.com. Abdullah, we'll start with you. 22 points to 17, just one score. Nothing to rest your laurels on, is it?
Definitely not. I think Royal though will be very happy to take a 5-point lead up to Kandy. It's a cushion which will assist them as the game goes on. But as you very correctly said, it's not something that they should harp on too much. I think they should just approach this game as a new game, blank sheet, just focus on winning the game. And then, of course, the Brad will just look after itself.
Milinda, you had a team that has come back to win the Bradby in 2011. That's not too far away. Murad Ramzin's team, after Shehan Patrina's team, had done the unthinkable in the first leg. Do you think that this team has it in them to come back and win?
Definitely, John. I said these had the first leg as well. I think Trinity on paper is a better side. I think skill-wise, if you take 25 on 25, I think all 25 representing Trinity, I would say a bit better skill. And it's just a matter of applying themselves on the field. I think they didn't do that in the first leg. They didn't execute the plan as well as their opponents did, I think, which Royal did to perfectly executed the plan. And Coach Sanat Martis obviously had done his homework. They kept it close. The weather conditions definitely helped them. So I feel that, given the weather conditions hold, that Trinity playing their natural game, the fast open game, which they can afford to do, has a good chance of coming back and regaining the shield.
It looks like the weather played a huge part in the last encounter. Abdullah, there's a massive downpour that came down on Colombo that day, and it affected all the rugby matches that were played. How much of a percentage do you think it impacted positively for Royal, who play a very forwards-dominated game?
Yes, I think it definitely helped Royal because obviously the style they play, it definitely hampered Trinity's ability to move the ball around, which they would have liked to do. And also I think it was not throughout the game. I think it was more towards the last quarter, last 20-25 minutes, when the game was actually in the balance. And I think, to be fair by Trinity, they seem to be getting the ascendancy a little bit at that stage. But with the downpour, I think Royal just managed to grab that. And it's also, I think, credit to Royal that they managed to adjust to the situation much better than what Trinity did. I don't think Trinity played smart at this stage. They were trying to play a bit too much rugby in their own half. Even if you look at that last try when Royal got that line out about 30 meters outside, a better clearance would have probably helped Trinity to put more pressure on Royal, because Royal then would have been having to play from their own half rather than from about 20 to 30 meters out. And from a line out position, from that kind of situation, it's most teams find it very hard to stop. And with the underfoot conditions also giving way, I think that just made it life much harder for Trinity to try and restrict that Royal Mall. And Royal were brilliant in just executing that in those conditions. And they go up to Kandy with a 5-point lead.
Millie, you were a forward. You've been in malls and you've defended malls as well. Do you think Trinity did that effectively enough? And strategically, what would you think they need to do to win the second leg?
Definitely not, sir. I think they did not. I'm not quite sure if it was the fact that they hadn't done their homework, but I think it's just the fact that they didn't. There are a few ways of defending a mall, and I didn't see them implement either of those methods at the first leg. And I think this also the fact that the underfoot conditions were great didn't really help them. And also Royal has over the years mastered the mall, and I wouldn't say it's unstoppable, but Trinity definitely going into the second leg has to work on that side, that aspect of the game. And I think that's something Royal is definitely. It's a no-brainer that they will keep it close, and they will definitely given the position they're in on the field, they will use that maul to their advantage. And I think Trinity has to counter it. The forwards have to be much more committed. I saw a lot of passengers, Shanak. I think the pack has to work as one and counter them all. And I think there are certain also Royal, the lineouts aren't. You can read the lineouts, Shanak. I think we need to contest them more often because Royal, even in the 40-meter, the halfway through the 22-meter, they tend to maul. So you need to contest wherever you can.
Well, that's an interesting one with Rahul Karunathilaka coming back into the side. Do you think that's the line out is going to be strengthened and that could be a huge boost to Trinity?
Of course, Shanak, I think there was a clear, the fact that there was no leadership in the first leg was evident. I think so. Rahul coming back is going to be a comforting factor for the boys, and also the fact that he's a line-out jumper and he'll be leading the pack. I think that a lot lies on his shoulders to take his men forward with him.
Abdullah, we've talked a lot about the Royal Maul. That has been a topic of discussion this whole season. But what we haven't really talked about is Royal's defense, because as much as they are mauling, they are also preventing other teams from playing. So a 5-point margin, you would back, or Sanat Martis would back his boys, and they would back themselves to constrict the life out of that game and be able to just hold on to that, wouldn't they?
Yes, the thing about having a lead is, with regard to the opposition, in this case Trinity, it's not only them scoring, you have to prevent the other team from scoring as well. So it's a very difficult thing to balance, because sometimes when you tend to go all on attack, you leave gaps here and there, and you turn ball over by some chance. The opposition can always score as well. So Trinity will have to play it very carefully. And yes, having said that, I think the Trinity line is going to be crucial. If Royal is to win this game, I think the forwards will do well. They will control possession. They will get as much on the front foot as possible. But I think the key is going to be the Royal three-quarter defense. There were just a few too many line breaks in that game by Trinity, where the Royal defense didn't quite match up. But the cover defense was good, so they managed to nullify and prevent Trinity from going over the line. But I can't see that happening in consecutive games. So I think the key for this game in particular will be the Royal three-quarter defense. If we can prevent Trinity from stepping, they've got some good steppers and a lot of speed. If we can just hold their three-quarters at bay, and as the game progresses, Trinity is going to get more and more frustrated if they are unable to get points off the board. So I think that is going to be the key aspect in this game for me with regard to Royal, and that's three-quarter defense.
Really, we can't ignore the fact that Trinity have lost their coach now for whatever reasons is. He has resigned from his position in between the two legs of the Bradby. How much is that a factor for this team? Will it impact them? Would they have been consulted on this decision? What would their thought process have been? Sean Vijay Singh and Salya Kumar obviously very experienced in their own right as well. What would their role be when they take over? Would they have to make changes? Talk us through that process in the Trinity camp.
Yeah, at this point in time, the boys need to, it's not something the team needs to think about. It's 1 week it's a week of the second leg. They need to focus on what they need to focus on. Basically, the game that they need to play on at the second leg, I'm pretty sure Sean and Salya has a game plan in place. They need to follow that. They need to listen to their coaches. They need to understand the fact that there are certain areas of the game that they need to get right in the second leg, especially aspects of the game they couldn't get right in the first leg. I mean, again, their infringements, their discipline wasn't great. They need to, in terms of forward play, the scrums, the lineouts. So they need to focus on the game. I think they should not focus on anything that's happening around them. They need to focus on the game and regaining that shield for Trinity.
Abdullah, last time that there was a comeback win for Trinity in 2011, or a comeback win for any team, really we had coach Theo Seraphim leaving Royal in between the two legs. Do you think that this is going to have a positive impact on the Royalist chances?
You mean positive impact on Trinity?
Positive impact on Royal's chances of winning this one for sure.
Well, I think, like Milinda said, I don't think it will be too much of an impact, because Sean and Salya, they have been with the team over a couple of seasons. So they will know the structures of their play. They will know, more importantly, the boys' mentality, and so on and so forth. So I don't see that being too much of an issue. And also, I can't see Trinity changing their game too much. There may be the slight or tactical adjustments because you are well into the season. You are just a week away from the Bradby when the coach left, I believe. So I don't think there'll be too many changes being made. I don't see it having too much of an impact on Trinity, but I guess it's a distraction which they could have done without.
Millie, you're going to be obviously hoping that the weather holds, but considering that it does, how do you see this game ending?
So I think Trinity could have only lost that first leg for themselves. I think they are still, even with the conditions weren't great, they still had the opportunity to take that game away from Royal. They missed a couple of overlaps. They boosted a couple of chances. The ball handling wasn't great. Couple of easy penalties were missed. So it was still Trinity's game to win. And I think second leg again, Pallakale compared to the Royal Complex, even if the weather conditions are great, the underfoot conditions will be different. I don't think it will impact Trinity as much as it did at the first leg at the complex. I think the complex ground is different to Pallakale, and so Trinity, I think, has to make some minor adjustments to their game plan, and basically, if those adjustments are made, I don't see Trinity losing this game.
Millie, you just put in an application for the foreign ministry, I think, with that bit of diplomacy. Just tell me what the result is going to be.
I think I've got a few predictions wrong in the past, so I'm pretty reluctant to predict this one, but I go with Trinity.
Okay, and Abdullah, you're obviously going to go with Royal, but by how much?
Well, I'll just say that it's yet going to be a close game. But if you look at it, I mean, chasing a game is always not easy. But I guess you could say on lighter side that Trinity have had experience because 39 minutes and 30 seconds of that first leg, they were chasing the game anyway because they were 7 points down within 30 seconds. But I think it'll be a close game. But this 5-point cushion, I think, and with Royal's ability to control possession over a period of time, the longer they can do that and maintain that lead into the game, I think Trinity will get more and more frustrated. And I think Royal have done that well throughout the season. They may not have got all the results they want, but they have shown that ability to control possession over a period of time. And I think if they can do that in this game, I think Royal can win the Bradby.
Okay, so that's what the pundits say. Millie goes for Trinity, Abdullah goes for Royal. Let's see what happens at Pallakale on the Saturday afternoon, and if the weather holds, we hope it will be an entertaining game of rugby as well. But even if it doesn't, then both teams have the goods to make sure that they can make it a close encounter. So see you all at Pallakale on ThePapare.com.